What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pick Six channel. Let's talk about it, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Miami Dolphins by a score of 28-15, and let's be real here. That score does not tell the entire story. Yeah, it ended in a two-possession game, but the Dolphins' touchdowns were in garbage time. So I don't know how much stock you want to put in those two touchdowns, all right? And I understand Dolphins aren't a very good football team. They're 6-8 for a reason, and they're a little bit of a dumpster fire right now. The organization, the team, there's a lot of... If I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm expecting major changes this offseason. That's all I have to say about the Dolphins here. They did bench Tua. Now Quinn Ewers is going to be their starting quarterback, which I think is a great move. The best possible thing that they could do at this time. So hopefully that works out for Miami. As for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they played well. They did what a good team would do to, I guess, an inferior opponent, if that's what you want to say. That's what a good team would do. So, we could say, oh, it was just against the Dolphins. But any good team would do that to the Dolphins. So there you go. All right. Offensively, they did struggle the first quarter and a half, but they really turned it up, scoring having 4 drives consecutively with ending in the end zone with touchdowns. The last time they did that was in 2018. I was a freshman in high school the last time they did that. That was a year removed from... Oh no, Antonio Brown was still on the team. I was going to say a year removed from Antonio Brown departing from the team. No, Antonio Brown was still on the team. That was a year removed from Le'Veon Bell being on the team. Okay? So it's been a long time since the Steelers have been able to do that. Offensively, Aaron Rodgers has really showed up the past 2 weeks. Making some really good throws. Especially that one with the DK Metcalf touchdown. That was a laser throw. That had to be a perfect throw, or else it was going to be either at least deflected for an incomplete or an interception. It had to be a perfect throw, and Aaron Rodgers made a perfect throw on that play. DK Metcalf's also been making some plays. Maybe not the craziest game on the stat sheet, 3 receptions, 55 yards, but he is starting to make plays here and there. I think the addition of having MVS and Adam Thielen does give DK the ability to gain more separation, because defenses can't necessarily focus on him completely or as much as they were without Adam Thielen and MVS. So this is looking like a pretty solid pickup for both. I'm not expecting them to do like super crazy things, although MVS did get a reception and did get a touchdown. But they don't need to do super crazy things on the stat sheet, as long as they're giving less attention on DK because of their presence on the field. That's all that matters. They don't need to be a 1 because DK's the 1. All right? The wide receiver 1. So that's all I got to say about the Steelers' offense. The defense played another good game, or offense didn't have a turnover. That's another thing to point out. Offensively, they didn't have a turnover. So shout out to the Steelers' offense there. Shout out Kenny G, doing good in the run game and the passing game as well, having well over 100 yards in total, whether it be rushing or receiving. Shout out Kenny G there. He's lining up as well, making plays, being a tough person to tackle on the field. And when you're a tough person to tackle on the field, you're getting a lot of yards, clearly. Defensively, they did great. I mean, I don't know what else you want to ask for them. They do still have the same flaws in the defending the run. Run defense is still kind of lacking. Middle of the field is kind of lacking a little bit. I guess at the very end you could say maybe that was the game plan, so that the Dolphins are getting it inbounds and the clock's going to continue to run. Which, by the way, the Dolphins' whole whatever they were trying to do in that fourth quarter, it seemed like they waved the white flag for a second, and then at the very end they're going to start trying. That made no sense to me. Again, I'm expecting major changes for the Miami Dolphins. So the defense played well. This team played with some heart, with some fire in them, some sort of motivation, and that's what we got to see from this team. Okay, maybe they don't have the rosters that the best teams in the AFC have. Maybe they don't have that. But if they could play with some heart, if they could play with some spirit, man, even Mike Tomlin was showing some passion on the sideline, which I haven't necessarily seen too much this season. Maybe I'm true, maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen too much fire from Mike Tomlin. He had some this past game. So, I mean, that's what the Steelers team is going to need, especially if they're going to wind up in the playoffs, which they should end up in the playoffs in the current situation. They control their own destiny. I don't think this game against Detroit really means anything for the Steelers. I think it's just the next two after that against Cleveland and Baltimore that dictate whether or not they end up in the playoffs. Obviously, the games that Baltimore is going to be playing, they do play the Patriots and Packers, so that's definitely going to have a big determination on whether or not the Steelers win the division. That's for sure. But I think this team has it in the bag. They should have it in the bag. I'm pretty positive all they need to do is go 10-7 and 9-8. Probably 9-8 with how tough the Ravens schedule is. In all reality, they just need to take care of the Browns unless things go terribly wrong for the Steelers, which I would like to think that wouldn't happen. So what do you guys think? How do you guys feel after that Steelers win? I am getting a little bit of hope. Some false hope. You know, I feel like I get that every single season. But I'm trying to limit that. All right, I'm trying to limit that a little bit. But so, Nation, how are you guys feeling after that win? You guys can let me know down in the comment section. That's really all I got to say. Steelers played a really good game. Steelers dominated. That's what you got to see. That's all I got for you guys. They will be playing the Lions on Sunday at 1:25 Pacific Standard Time. We will be live for that game. Honestly, I don't know how that game's gonna go. That might be a tough watch, but the Lions aren't necessarily the same team that they were last season. That's all I got for you guys. I'll catch you guys later in the week.